Hi class. Before we go into linked list, which is the major content of module 13, I thought we can do a review of pointers because you have to understand pointers to be able to use linked lists. So this was discussed. Basically, I based this video on video 9.1, but just using different graphics and maybe different ways of talking about the same thing. But I hope this will help you to remember, solidify your understanding of pointers. So here you see two lines of code, double star P, double N. So double star P is allocating a memory space, but what is that memory space is? It's actually a variable that is a pointer to a double. So the second line, double N, what it allocates, the memory that it allocates is for a variable double. So there are two different concepts. This pointer P can point to any double variable. It can be a named value, double variable, which actually we will do it later. But also it can create a new double variable that has no name. So let's look at this case first. We now have two memory allocated for a double pointer and a double, but there's no value to neither of them. So how do we assign values to them? For n, you know how to do it already. It's just a double value, so you can just assign 12.5 or any double value to it. For a pointer to a double, you can say, hey, I want pointer P to point to the variable n, and so you use ampersand in front. That's how you set P to point to the variable, double variable n. To get the value of the double that P is pointing to, you can use a star P, and you would get 12.5 in this case because it is pointing to a double. Another way to dereference, so the last one is more to get the value of where P is pointing to. To set where P is pointing to, you also use the star P. And then you can say negative 3.4, then it will change the double n to negative 3.4 because it is currently pointing to the double n. And though you can actually create a named variable using the new keyword, so P equals to new double, will create this unnamed double, and then we set the value where P is pointing to 6.9 by using the dereferencing again with the start P. So to release the memory that P is currently allocated, because it is right now pointing to an unnamed double, so delete P will work. It will release this memory space. It just go back to the heap, and it will then not point to anything right now. Double stay the same. But even though we delete P, what we deleted was the memory space that it allocate the unnamed double. It can still be assigned to ampersand n, which points it back to n if you want to. If you want to look at what I've said in lecture 9.1, you can go back to the video, or you can actually see this in action in code, where I just compile the code and you can download this to play with it. So to recap, we just reviewed what pointers are, how to use it. So next we will really start talking about linked list. See you soon.